Then he pointed at this other grave. It was a grave that belonged to someone who had money when he was alive. He told me that we had to be specific and to be sure. Otherwise, if we do it on the grave of a poor man, then his unfortunate lifestyle will follow me. Good morning, how are you? I am back with another episode. I have a confession for you guys. It was sent to me by one of our admins, and the message reads like this. How are you? All I can tell you is that life has not been easy. I am a woman who is age 36. I have 4 children, and raising them has not been easy. I lost my job about a year before lockdown. I got a small pension fund, but within a few months, the money I had gotten was finished. The place I was staying, I had to pay rent every month. It was a lot of money. Getting a new apartment was not an option because I never had money to find another cheaper place since they needed a deposit. You know, when you move into these townhouses, if these townhouses are going to cost you about 10 grand a month, 10,000 rands a month, when you find a new place, you have to pay another 10,000 rand on top as a form of deposit. Coming from the suburbs where I was staying, it was not easy going to places they don't require you paying that deposit before you can move into that rental area. The house was not difficult to find. The only problem was that for you to get an accommodation in a place where you don't require that kind of deposit before you can move in, those places are mostly high density areas and the crime rate over there is very high. And as someone who is used to stay in lower density areas, this was not easy for me. The place that we stay, they want the rent on the first of every month. We went into lockdown and life became tougher. I came to a point where my bills accumulated so much, and after lockdown I had to look for a job, and still there was no luck. The agent became impatient because I was owing about a year rent. They were not allowed to chase me out because the law that were put in place during the time of COVID, you were not allowed to kick out any of your tenants even if they could not afford to pay you at that time. We got relief from the government. As much as my landlord wanted to kick me out of the house, they did not have any choice because the government has put a law in place. But what they did is that they cut off my lights and they switched off the water. They wanted me out, but I could not go out because I had nowhere to go. With the kids and with the coronavirus around, where will I go? That my children were affected. They could not wake up and bath because we had no water. We had to manage water. I borrowed money from friends until everybody just became so tired of me. I had nowhere to go till a friend suggested that I should go to a voodoo priest who could give me powers to make money. My friends took me there and I met with a man who was in his mid-80s. He looked calm, but when you look into his eyes, you will feel a strange presence, a powerful energy emanating from his eyes. Then he told me I had to prepare myself for that night because we were going to the graveyards to do the ritual. When it was 12 midnight, I was woken up and it was time to go. We wore black dresses. I was made to carry a black chicken on my head. We walked until we arrived. Then he pointed at this other grave. It was a grave that belonged to someone who had money when he was alive. He told me that we had to be specific and to be sure. Otherwise, if we do it on the grave of a poor man, then his unfortunate lifestyle will follow me. I didn't want it to be poor. I wanted to be rich. So I slaughtered the black chicken while kneeling on top of the grave and let the blood flow into the grave. The old man was making sounds to awaken the spirit of the dead man. I went on top of the grave and slept there naked. Then I felt like I had been possessed. It was done. Then I left. He gave me a charm that was supposed to keep in a bottle. Upon arrival, he told me that I should accept the gift he has sent to me. I arrived back home and underneath my pillow there was money. I was shocked. I managed to deposit all the money and I paid all my rent I was owing. We had light in the house. My kids were so excited. But after a few months, things took a dark turn. Every 3 days, I would suddenly see a very small boy in my dream. In that dream, that little boy will abuse me sexually. I have started a very small business. I was earning a lot of money, 3 times the amount other people in the same business was getting out. But the reason why I was getting such huge profit is because this spiritual little boy goes around to people who also do business near me or have shops near me and steal all their profits spiritually and bring them to my business. During the day, I'll be making a lot of sales while my neighbors sell nothing. But this world has come with the consequences. I tried having real life relationships relationship with men, but all the men would just leave or they would die. I once dated a man, and when it came for time for me to go to his place, I went to his place, but the moment I walked into his bedroom, he just said, "Please go back to your place," and he never gave me any reasons. A couple of days later, he said, "The moment you entered my bedroom, I saw a man walking behind you. He was holding something that looked like a spear, and I just felt that if I touched you, that man was waiting to kill me." Another guy came to my place after I begged him. I have spent about 4 months without any intercourse. I just needed company. The guy said he was being chased by a big snake in the dream. In real life, he was bleeding in his hands because in his dream he has been bitten by the snake. I saw blood stains where he slept, and I believe the stories. I am tired of all this. There was another man I visited, and he told me that I have to go and throw all these things into an ocean. But he warned me saying, if I go and throw these things into the ocean, there's a possibility that I might die as well. They said you have to choose to live in poverty after you throw this charm, or die once you have thrown this charm away. Please, can you post my story? I am looking for anyone who could assist me, at least if the person is a traditional healer.